With a professional network of outstanding members from Rio Grande Valley to Dallas-Fort Worth to Houston to San Antonio, with plans to continue expansion, the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas is over 600 members strong. Year-round, the Chamber significantly contributes to the fast-growing, thriving Filipino American community. Conceived during the first trade mission to the Philippines in 2008, and since its official founding in 2009 by Honorary Consul Ethel Reyes Mercado, PAC Texas has led the way in inspiring and bolstering the spirit of entrepreneurship among Filipinos, Filipino Americans, community members, and business partners. We exist to empower new business owners, as well as established entrepreneurs, to become efficient and effective in their business through education, business matching, and networking. We tirelessly support entrepreneurs in their pursuit of excellence. PAC Texas provides leadership and engagement to promote and strengthen Philippine American trade, investments, economic relations, tourism, and cross-cultural activities. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas is at the forefront of bridging trade and new business opportunities between the United States and Philippine-based partners. In the last 10 years, through its strategic alliances with development partners, the Chamber's trade investment missions to the Philippines have generated more than $50 million yearly in new businesses for both the delegates and their new partners in the Philippines. PAC Texas connects members to business relations and opportunities while promoting goodwill between the United States and the Philippines. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas is committed to enhancing the quality of life of the communities we serve.
Got it.
We know that profits are important, but ultimately, our success is because of and about the people whose lives we affect. PAC Texas members make a difference in people's lives. PAC Texas is the official program implementation partner of the Philippine Consulate General and the Philippine Honorary Consulate of Texas. In a span of a decade, through the consular outreach programs, members have helped more than 40,000 Filipinos in Texas and neighboring states in renewing passports, applying for dual citizenship, and registering for absentee voting privileges. When it comes to giving back, Chamber members are always ready to respond in times of need. In partnership with sister chambers, nonprofit agencies, and community organizations in the United States and the Philippines, we have implemented life-changing initiatives. The PAC Texas-led Operation Save Lives national campaign in the wake of Typhoon Haiyan raised more than $1 million in donations to help affected communities. It is no surprise that of the 160 nominees from more than 3,700 Filipino-American organizations in the United States, the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas in 2015 would be selected by the National Federation of Filipino-American Associations as the most outstanding Filipino-American organization in the U.S. We proudly celebrate the first remarkable 10 years of the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas. We aim to continue this legacy with you. Join us. Let's elevate the quality of business and life for Filipinos, Filipino Americans, and for our communities. Here's to another decade of excellence.
Is Rowena speaking? Needs to unmute.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Okay, my name is Rowena Waters. I'm the current chair of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce in DFW, as well as president-elect of our state chamber. Welcome to our twin holiday event celebrating both Thanksgiving and Christmas. The video you just saw was presented during our 10th year anniversary. But we like it so much that we sort of gave it a little bit of a comeback. We are this year an 11-year-old state chamber. We are honored to have all of you tonight, honored guests, old and new friends. We have Consul General Adel Cruz of Los Angeles, who we are bidding farewell to. We have Consul General Jerrill Santos. We have Jerry Palon of COFAC, our coalition, Gary, our state president. We have chamber members, board members, and community leaders. We are also honored to have with us Amy Lewis Hofland, who will speak with us tonight. She is the senior director of the Crow Museum of Asian Art, as well as the incoming chair of the Asian Chamber of Texas. Now, we have a few parts to our event tonight, and our tribute first our tribute to the Consul General Cruz, and then we will have our holiday celebration, which starts with Amy's inspirational talk about giving. We will also give a bit of a tribute to our nonprofit members and individuals. We have a lot of fun and games as well. And then we will end this with a very nice rendition, a nice number from our friend Vicente Evangelista. But before we start on all that, we have a bit of housekeeping to do. Okay. Digital etiquette, I would like to remind everyone to make sure that our microphones are muted when it is not our turn to speak. We have Q&A. We have a chat box wherein you can enter all your questions. We also request you to please don't spam the chat. If there is something you would like to discuss with another attendee, but it is not for the benefit of our entire group, please take your conversation to the side outside of our Zoom meeting. And let's be positive, let's build up one another, help us keep this space safe and fun and healthy and respectfully for each other. Okay, now we will start the first segment of our wonderful celebration. And I am so happy that this will be moderated by our very own executive director of our state chamber, Mr. Gus Mercado.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Let me start our special program by sharing with you a love story. A 10-year-old love affair between two amazing groups of people who live 1,500 miles apart, who together have done some really incredible things to serve their Filipino constituents in our great state of Texas. These are the members and volunteers of the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Texas in Dallas, Houston, and Rio Grande Valley, and the consular officials of the LA Consulate General, headed in the last 5 years by our honoree this evening, Consul General Adelio Angelito Cruz. And here is their story. The MVP in our love story, Congen Adel Cruz, has endeared himself to the hearts of Filipino Texans from the day he started coming to Texas to perform consular services wearing his Texas cowboy hat as our honorary Texan. He also wowed our Texas ladies with his golden voice, singing his favorite Ikaw. But he is much more than a singing ambassador. The true greatness of a man is measured not only by his many accomplishments, but also by the indelible mark that he leaves in the minds and hearts of his constituents, which they will remember after he is long gone. Men like Adel Cruz come few and far between, and those whose lives he touched are fortunate to have known him. I did a survey of people that knew him from different walks of life and asked them to describe Adel Cruz in 1 or 2 words. And these are what I got. They said Adel Cruz is hip but pusong Pinoy. Tough when he needs to be tough, but basically soft-hearted, or what we call in the Philippines, pusong mamon. They say he is visionary, an excellent crisis manager, a workaholic who finds time to play golf, and the most popular description of Adele is that he is down to earth, who has the magic touch for the common people, the masses. My own observation of him is that it does not matter if you are president or governor or someone high up in society or just a common overseas worker. When you are with him, you feel that you are the most important person in the room. We also enjoyed playing golf with him. Although he is a darn good golfer, he does not mind when sometimes we bend the rules a little bit. It has been one of the greatest pleasures in our chambers in Texas, specifically Dallas, Houston, and Rio Grande Valley, to have known, hosted, and forged lasting relationships with Consul General Adel and his wonderful consular staff for many years. I believe it, close to 9.5 years we've been doing that before we were fortunate enough to have the Houston consulate reopened about 1.5 years ago. We were voted most outstanding Filipino organization in the US because of our many projects that Congen Adel and his crew supported. Some former consular officials who are no longer in LA are with us tonight to reminisce our memorable days with them, as well as our sister chambers in Southern California, led by Jerry Palon, Lois Claver, Jeff Bautista, and Randy Clarito, joining us in this celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, salamat po sa inyong pagdalo at salamat and paalam sa kagalang-galang na Consul General Los Angeles at sa kanyang consular team sa kanilang pagtulong sa mga Pilipino sa Texas.
Sir, it's not playing po.
We don't hear you.
Sir, the video is not playing po. Would you like me to play it for you?
Okay.
Sir Gus?
If the video is not playing,
April, why don't you play it?
I'll play
okay.
it.
April, would you please? Thank you.
Ikaw ang bigay ng may kapal, tukon sa aking dasal upang sa lahat ng panahon, bawat pagkakataon, ang ibigin ko'y ikaw.
Thank you. We can clap. We can clap. Thank you so much. That was good. Now, at this point, I would like to request a few people, important people, to give a short testimonial on our honoree, Conjen Adel Cruz. Let's start with our new Consul General in Houston, Honorable Jerrill Santos.
Thank you, Gus. I hope everyone can hear me. Good evening to everyone. Let me first greet the officers and members of the PACC, Ethel and Gus. Good evening to everybody. I'm truly honored and privileged to be able to say something about an old friend of mine, Consul General Adel Cruz. I've known Adel Cruz for nearly 20 years, perhaps even more. He was a young officer when he joined the Department of Foreign Affairs, joined the protocol office, and eventually worked closely with me, became my deputy in one of the busiest and most challenging offices in the Foreign Service. In the DFA, the name Adel Cruz has become synonymous with hard work, excellence, and sacrifice. He went through difficult postings in China and the Middle East. Being Consul General in Los Angeles, cool as that may sound to some, is no walk in the park either. It's one of our busiest consulates, if not the busiest, and the most demanding in terms of work. And Adel has handled this adeptly. Let me just say that, Adel, as you embark on the next stage of your storied career, I wish you all the best, and I take this opportunity to thank you for the support you have given me through challenging times. And I'm really proud of you, proud to be your friend, proud to be your colleague. Most of all, thank you for the friendship you have extended to me all these years. And now, I literally tip my hat to you, Adel. Take off my hat to you. Congratulate you for a job well done in Los Angeles, and all the best on your future endeavors. Mabuhay ka, partner.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you, Conjen Jerrill. Before I call on the next a person to give a testimonial, I would like to acknowledge our hardworking Chamber Region President for North Texas, Rowena Waters, who quarterbacked this whole thing. Okay, thank you, Rowena. Great job so far. Okay, the next person, the next VIP to give a testimonial is our very own Attorney Gary Ilagan, who is the state chairman of PACC Texas right now. Gary?
Thanks, Tito Gus. Greetings to you, Consul General Adel Cruz. Good to see you again. You as well, CG Jerrill Santos. In regards to all our COFAC friends, CG Jerry, and of course, the other region chairs of PACC Texas and board members. Adel, every time we knew you were coming down to Houston for one of the consular outreach programs, we had to make sure as a board to really bring our A game. We always wanted to impress you and show to you that we were doing the best that we could possibly do at each of our consular outreach programs in Houston. And you were always so gracious. What really struck me was when you attended probably, I think, your last outreach program here. And you were not there just delegating and telling people what to do. You were there doing the hard work, helping the other consular officers and reviewing the passport renewal applications, and working with at times, disgruntled, frustrated applicants. You were firm when you had to be firm. But you were always very graceful with every person that you spoke to. So you really led by example. And when I look at leaders, that's one thing I always look at. How are you leading? Are you really doing the hard work yourself? And you certainly did. So on behalf of PACC Texas, Greater Houston Region, congratulations on everything that you've accomplished this far in your career, especially in LA. And we wish you all the best in your future endeavors in regards to your life as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Next to call is Myrna, who is currently the president of our newest organization, which is the North Texas Council of Leaders, or PhilCon. Myrna was the region president for North Texas during the term of Adel Cruz when Texas was still under the jurisdiction of the LA Consulate. Myrna?
Yes. Hello, kamusta po kayo, Conjen Adel? And we thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have, as I recall, we have really good memories together, not only during the outreach here in Dallas, but during the ambassador tours. And one of which is in Davao. We truly appreciate your presence when we went to see our sister chamber in Davao, and we signed the MOU with them. So thank you for being with us there. And also, not only that, you see, Conjen Adel, whenever you're here in Dallas, and of course, we appreciate the leadership of our honorary consul, Ethel Mercado, for the scheduled outreach. I speak on behalf of my colleagues and my colleagues as being volunteers. We are so proud that we are able to be part of the Philippine Consulate outreach. There's nothing like showing our robust community service to our kababayans, because you set us a good example there, Conjen Adele. You know, when you're with us in the outreach, we show, I mean, you've given us the example of your dedication, your humbleness, your kind-hearted towards our kababayan. So in that we value, you have given us the lesson how to value and to give a community service to kababayans and for those who are in need. So again, we thank you and best wishes to your next posting. And remember, when your post is over, just remember your second home is here in Texas. Thank you.
Thank you, Myrna. Last but not least, is our fourth city in Texas that was touched by the consular outreach program of the LA Consulate, and that is the Rio Grande Valley, headed by Rhodora Elizondo. Rhodora, want to say a few words?
Okay. Good evening, Consul Adel. Here in the Rio Grande Valley, we were able to start the consular outreach because of your support and of course of Ma'am Ethel and Ma'am Myrna, Kuya Gas. They came down here to start us off how to do the consular outreach because we have no idea how to do it. But they were very good in training us, and we have done it so many times, and it's been a roaring success for so many years now. And we're very happy about that because we were able to help a lot of Filipinos. Before the consulate in Houston opened, all the roads lead to LA. That's where we would go to take care of all our paperworks that connects us back home. And it costs a lot of money for everyone. We know that. And because of the consular outreach, the community is very grateful for what we were doing. That's how we were able to put our name in the map of the Rio Grande Valley. We get people from El Paso coming down, even Houston before. So it was a good thing. I remember meeting Consul Adele. That was the night before the opening of the Houston consulate. And Bobby Reyes and Kuya Flor Ginhawa took me out to dinner at that seafood restaurant. I know you remember that. And when we got there, Kuya Gas, Myrna, and Mom Ethel were already there sitting with him. And I didn't realize who is that person sitting beside you in the table. But when I found that, I said, oh my God, I was like starstruck, like, oh, it's the Consul General sitting in the table. And I was like, oh my God. But then after a few selfies later, like he was such a down to earth person, like he has his feet planted firmly on the ground, no airs, nothing. That I was like, wow, this guy, this person is such a good person that he's so approachable to everyone. And for the status that he's holding, he still opened himself to help anybody. So after that, we went to the consulate the next day for the opening. And when I got home, a lot of the community were asking me what to do with this case, what to do with that case. And I would always send him a message. And never once did Consul Adel snubbed me or did not respond to my questions or my message. Has been very patient. And through that, we were able to help a lot of the community here asking for help in what to do. He guided us so good in what we need from him. And that's why we appreciate him so much. Consul Adel, wherever you're going, we wish you and your family all the blessings and happy trails. Good evening.
Don't cry. Okay, Rhodora, thank you so much. Now, at this time, we would like to call on Honorary Consul Ethel Mercado to give the formal introduction of our guest of honor. Ethel Mercado has been working very closely and painstakingly with the LA Consulate for more than 10 years. Okay, and together they came up with this consular outreach program that was primarily sponsored by the PACC Texas. Ethel is also the founder of PACC Texas, as you saw in the video early on. Let me call on Ethel to formally introduce our guest of honor.
Good evening, everyone. I feel truly honored introducing a public servant whom I deeply admire. Filipinos in Texas were very lucky because Consul General Adelio Angelito Cruz has been responsible for a very large jurisdiction, the LA Consulate being the biggest consulate in the world, with a Filipino population of close to 1 million, with more than 500 Filipino organizations, and yet he always found time to come to Texas whenever we need him. He received the prestigious Gawad Mabini Award with the highest rank of Dakilang Kamanong Grand Cross from the Philippine President, which is conferred on Filipinos who render distinguished foreign service and help promote the interest and prestige of the Philippines abroad. Congen Cruz was cited for his valiant efforts in holding the fort in the war-torn Libya and effecting successful repatriation of Filipinos caught in the wave of violent demonstrations at the height of the revolution in that country. This was heroism under fire. We saw pictures of their embassy car, which was riddled with large AK-47 bullets. Miraculously, none of the passengers of the car were killed. The back seat of the Mercedes-Benz stopped the bullets. Prior to his posting in Tripoli, Consul General Cruz was assigned in the Consulate General in Chicago from 1997 to 2003 and Vice Consul, then Consul. In the UAE from 2007 to 2010 as First Secretary and Consul and later Consul General, Minister and Consul General at the Philippine Embassy in Abu Dhabi, and in the People's Republic of China as Consul General and Head of Post at the Consulate General in Yemen. Consul General Cruz holds a BA in Political Science degree from the University of the Philippines and units in law from the Ateneo de Manila. He comes from Quezon City and is married to Catherine Amon Cruz and is a father to Christian Nathan, Aaron Matthew, and Angeline Nicole. His predecessor in LA, Consul General Leo Herrera Lim, described Adel as a person with strategic vision, extensive experience in crisis management and leadership, of great value to the Filipino community, and the overall excellent ties between the US and the Philippines. I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a very special man and good friend, Consul General Adelio Cruz.
Thank you very much, Ethel. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I am so overwhelmed with the beautiful words given by very good friends. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the presence of my boss, my mentor, a very good friend, Consul General Jerrill Santos. Sir, so nice to see you here with us. Of course, Rowena, thank you so much for making this Zoom meeting possible. Gus, thank you for your very beautiful words. I would also like to acknowledge some friends from Los Angeles. I see Jerry Palon, Neil Estrada, Lois, Paul, I believe, is here as well. And my dear, dear friends from Texas that I haven't seen for many, many months. Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us here tonight. 10 years of working closely with you all from the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles has made a profound impact on the lives, not just of our Filipino Americans living in Texas, to whom we have provided service to, but also to my colleagues here at the consulate. And it's an open secret that every time we have an outreach to Texas, um, everybody here at the consulate would just raise their hand and want to go. And that just shows how warm and friendly our friends from Texas are. In fact, it's difficult for me at times, to turn down requests for my colleagues who would always want to go and visit Texas. Um, of course, I have my predecessor, Consul General Leo Herrera Lim, to thank for that. And through his hard work as well, we were able to establish this very close working relationship with the PACC. In terms of public service, I would like to share with everyone here that there is no other person I know who has devoted his life to public service other than our current Consul General, Jerrill Santos. During my early days in the department, he would tell me about stories of how he would be celebrating a birthday with one of his children, and suddenly a phone call from the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, would reach him, and right there and then he would have to drop everything and run to the DFA to serve. So if there's anybody here who is the epitome of public service, you guys are very lucky because you have the current Consul General right there. I've learned a lot from him. He was my mentor. He is still my mentor, good friend, fellow golfer as well. And sir, publicly, again, I'd like to thank you for everything that you have taught me. Without you, I would not be here sitting in this chair here in LA. Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank the PACC collectively for all the humanitarian projects you have undertaken. Without a doubt, you are one of the most efficient and most effective groups to extend assistance to our less fortunate kababayans back home, and as well as here in different cities in Texas. I understand that you are also being held in high regard by the Commission on Filipino Overseas for all the assistance you've rendered in other calamities that befallen our country. And I look forward to your continued support and assistance to our less fortunate kababayans in the near future. Without a doubt, you are one of the very, very few organizations who have proven that unity can be achieved despite coming from all walks of life. I've seen the births and deaths of so many Filipino American organizations because the chairman, the president, would not want to hand over the mantle to his colleagues. They would hold elections, and if they lose, they would form another organization. But PACC has always been one of the ideal organizations that you guys should be one of the ones that the other organizations look up to. And that I congratulate you all for your unity and friendship, not just professional but personal friendship. If I may, I'd like to also share some personal experiences I will never forget in Houston and in Dallas. I remember vividly when Gus gave me a gift similar to the cowboy hat that Consul Jerrill just wore and tipped. It looked great. It looked beautiful. It looked really expensive. But the moment I wore it, I looked like an illegal immigrant that just crossed the border. I guess Consul Jerrill, when he wore the hat, he looks like a movie star.
Robin Padilla.
Robin Padilla. Unfortunately, I looked one of the the bad guys, the contravidas. Kathy is also unfortunately not here with me today with the kids, but she extends her best. She has very, very fond memories also of Houston and Dallas, and Texas in general. In fact, every time we had an outreach to Texas, she would always find time and make sure that she would join. You know? So for Gus, for Gary, Gary, I still have the head cover, the golf head cover that you gave. I will probably use it when I'm in the Philippines. Um, for Myrna, for Rhodora, and of course for hardworking honorary consul Ethel. Thank you so much for this. I'm at a loss of words, but rest assured, wherever I go, we have established lifelong friendships. So you're welcome to visit me if I'm ever in Paris. You're welcome to visit me if I ever go back to Libya. Uh, but wherever I go, my door will always be open. Again, this is a friendship that we have established for life. And Conjen Jerrill is very lucky that you are there to support him. And you are equally lucky because my boss, my idol, is there as Consul General now in Texas. So please support him. And I will be flying back to Manila very soon. Sir, if you need anything, I believe you already know what office I will be assigned to, one of the most difficult offices. But if you need anything, I'm one phone call away. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, again, I'm very, very thankful, honored actually, for this event tonight. And I look forward to meeting you again someday soon. And in the name of public service, in the name of the Philippine Consulate, on behalf of my colleagues here at the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul, Consuls General. I have to mention to everyone that both Consul Adel and Consul Jerrill had to break away from another Zoom meeting with the Philippine Ambassador Romualdez. So I hope we didn't get you in trouble. But you're free to stay for the rest of the program. We have a special program that comes after this for right now. But thank you so much for being with us. I would like to start the ball rolling on the trivia contest. No, first of all, okay, I'm sharing this with you. I have a beautiful collection of Manny Pacquiao, authentic autograph memorabilia. I'm giving 2 of these tonight away. The first question is, who among you, all of the attendees, who lives the farthest? Who called from the farthest place? Okay, so use the chat. Mention your name and where you're from, what city, wherever you are in the world. And then later on, we will announce the winner, okay? So at this point, and you can choose from any of this. Any of this will be worth a fortune. I'm telling you that. In eBay, I saw one of this, on sale for starting bid of $1,000. So one of these will go to the one who called in from the farthest place, okay? So if you feel that you are, I know one of you is from the Philippines, one is from somewhere else. Type it in, and we will announce the winner. Okay. Okay, and now let me turn this back to Rowena for the rest of the program. Thank you.
I want to make sure I'm unmuted. I'm muted. Okay, well, thank you so much. That was very, very meaningful. Second half of our celebration, and I have the honor of introducing Amy Lewis Hofland. Now, I met Amy about 9 years ago on the board of the Asian Chamber of Texas. At that time, it was called the Greater Dallas Asian American Chamber of Commerce. She made an impression on me instantly. She exuded a quiet strength. Now, Amy is a leader. She is an author, a curator, a mother, and a friend. Amy was an influencer well before the word influencer was a thing. She is well regarded in both the arts circle in Dallas and a force in our nonprofit community. Now, her resume is impressive, and unfortunately, we don't have the whole night to read through her resume. I thought about posting her LinkedIn profile, but even that is not enough. Suffice it to say, I'm just gonna suggest just Google Amy Hofland, Amy Lewis Hofland. You will find her on all social media, print media, books. She even has her own YouTube channel. But more than all that, what makes Amy, to me, the Amy, is her sense of giving. Not just on the material level, but she gives of her thoughts, her heart, and sometimes her soul. She has this thing that I follow, Pocket Sunrise. And the simplest things can be made very beautiful. And I find inspiration in that. I find a lot of inspiration in that level of her giving. And so tonight, more than all the other achievements that Amy has had, I am very honored to introduce her, and I am very happy that we will be able to listen to her inspiring message.
Thank you so much, Rowena. It's an honor to be invited and to share part of my journey and part of my experience. And I'm so thankful that I was privileged to listen to these words of appreciation and acknowledgement, which is a very important part of gratitude and an important part of generosity that we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm just so thankful. And I almost wish I had written a little poem thinking of all of the ways you appreciated Consul Generals this evening. So very grateful to be with all of you. And I just would love to sort of take a moment. We've been on the call for about 45 minutes. So let's just take a deep breath and maybe a little stretch if you need a little stretch. Just kind of take this moment to re-arrive. And for the next 30 minutes, I am going to take us through little lessons of gratitude. And it's such a great time, Rowena, thank you for your timeliness. Such a great time to be thoughtful about gratitude. And I want to talk about the time that we're in. We're 7.5 months into a global pandemic as human beings, and acknowledging our human commonality is one part of mindfulness that I think is very important. So we're 7.5 months into this. We're approaching the holiday season, which can be very isolating if we're not able to be with family. And so I like to call this the interim time, the time between the times. And I'm going to share this little blessing just to start off our time together from a poet that I love very much, John O'Donohue. And if you want to find it, I've posted it on my blog if you want to read along. For the interim time, when near the end of day, life has drained out of light, and it is too soon for the mind of night to have darkened things. No place looks like itself. Loss of outline makes everything look strangely in between, unsure of what has been and what might come. In this wan light, even trees seem groundless. In a while it will be night, but nothing here seems to believe the relief of dark. You are in this time of the interim, where everything seems withheld. The path you took to get here has washed out. The way forward is still concealed from you. The old is not old enough to have died away, and the new is still too young to be born. You cannot lay claim to anything in this place of dusk. Your eyes are blurred, and there is no mirror. Everyone else has lost sight of your heart, and you can see nowhere to put your trust. You know you have to make your own way through. As far as you can, hold your confidence. Do not allow your confusion to squander this call, which is loosening your roots in false ground, that you might come free from all that you have outgrown. What is being transfigured here is your mind, and it is difficult and slow to become new. The more faithfully you can endure here, the more refined your heart will become for your arrival in the new dawn. And I think it's important to acknowledge that when this pandemic is over, we will arrive as different human beings. We will preciously carry forward some of the silver linings of COVID-19, and we will obviously let some things go, which I can't wait to hug Rowena when I see her. But there will be things about this time of sheltering and stillness that we will want to carry forward. And I think it's teaching us a lot about gratitude, because it really is something that you have to generate. I've had another interim time, and maybe you all can think of some as well, where you really shifted the way you thought about the world and thought about meaning. What is the meaning of life, and what is precious and purposeful about life? In 2011, I was diagnosed with a thyroid cancer. And I had a doctor at the time who encouraged me to find a practice that I could pair with exercise. And so I'm going to share screen and just show you what, oh, maybe the host can let me share screen real quick. That would be great. Or make me a co-host. I was going to share one of my images of Pocket Sunrise. Thank you. I think this is the one. Yes. Okay. Let me go to, I have to move it a little bit so I can see. Okay. So hopefully you're looking at an image of White Rock Lake facing the east at dawn. And this is a place where I have learned over the last 9 years what gratitude means. And this is the practice. My doctor encouraged me to exercise. She asked me what I love to do. And so I said I love to take photographs during what I call the magic hour, which is the hour before the sun comes up. And through my journey, my 1-year journey with cancer, I've been in remission for 8 years. Through this time of studying the sunrise and studying the human beings around me in the process of healing from cancer, I learned that the sunrise is a place where human beings, it's the thing we wish for the most when we're facing a chronic illness or cancer. It's the thing that we want. It's one more day. And in this interim time, it's really important that we pause and think about what that one more day means to us. It means something different. It means something differently to us now that perhaps we've known someone who's fought COVID-19, or maybe we even know someone who's passed away from COVID-19. So one of the ways that I think about gratitude, and I didn't know it at the time, but this was a mindfulness practice, this walking and looking at the sunrise and capturing it day after day after day now for 9 years. Not every day, but I do try. One of the definitions that I really love is mindfulness, and we've got a couple of people in the waiting room, just so y'all know. Mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way and on purpose and non-judgmentally. So let's kind of look at that definition. This comes from John Kabat-Zinn, who's one of the people that I've studied in a 2-year certification program where I'm learning about mindfulness and how to teach it. So we're paying attention. So in my practice with the Pocket Sunrise, I was paying attention to light and color and the effects of light on water. That's been a big part of my study over these 9 years. On purpose, I was showing up. So I started as a pattern, and I started repeating that pattern, and that pattern became a rhythm, and that rhythm became a practice. Maybe Marielle can, there we go. And then also non-judgmentally, well, on purpose is important as well. So that's the idea that there was really an intention in this practice to be awake and alive to this moment at the sunrise. That there was a way I was walking in a way that I was capturing it. And then it became this project that I could offer pocket sunrises to other people in the world who might not have access to White Rock Lake, or might even be in a hospital room without a window to see the sunrise. And finally, the piece of this definition that I love the most is non-judgmentally. And I bet if I panned the 67 people here, we all have an inner critic. We're not doing enough. We've not done enough with this time of sheltering in place. we've not cared enough for ourselves. There's always an inner critic right here on the shoulder that wants to tell us that we're not enough. And gratitude practice is an access to knowing that we have enough. There's a wanting mind that we have that is that inner critic that tells us that we're not good enough, not smart enough, not generous enough, all of those things. And we wash ourselves with these negative words every day. And so really it's a practice to undo that doing and think about, what is it, how do I want to show up in the world? Do I want to show up to myself and to others as a judging critic, or do I want to show up to myself and others in this space of generosity, gratitude, and appreciation? So this poem, poetry is one of my favorite ways to talk about mindfulness. I think poets are one of the most mindful people in the world. And I hope that you'll message me a couple of Filipino poets so I can add them to my poetry curation. But this is David White, who has written this poem, Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath. If not this breath, this sitting here. This opening to life we have refused again and again until now, until now. What is enough? I think that's one of the questions you can ask yourself if you're thinking of starting a gratitude practice. And the way that we see what is enough is we begin to see what is. At the beginning of the pandemic, when I was working from home, I started making a list. I don't know if anyone else did this. I started making a list of all the things wrong with my house. I was looking at what needed to be replaced. I was looking at what needed to be painted, what needed to be moved out, just all these things that were wrong with my house. And part of that was that I hadn't spent a lot of time in my house. And so it started raining, and I went outside after the rain and I did a meditation, and all of a sudden the house started to look so beautiful. I could see the house in an entirely different way, as a shelter, protection from the rain. It was glistening because the water had just sort of hit the roof and hit the leaves. And I realized it was enough. The house was enough because it was a shelter. And I think in the gratitude practice, you realize how much we have instead of how much we don't have. So part of that is being right where we are. In the interim time, it's easy to want the pandemic to be over. It's easy to want to go back to the way things were before. We have these habits of mind that always take us out from where we are. So really looking at, what is my habit of mind? And wandering your mind is an unhappy mind. So Harvard studies have recently shown us that the wandering mind is restless, irritable, and discontent. And it's just not satisfied. So how do we sort of get present to where I am, and how could that be enough? And this also leads to depression and anxiety. And I think we're reading some of these articles right now. And I'd love to think that the 66 people here we are the hopeful ones, that we show up to our communities. And I know that you do show up to your communities as the ones who can lift others out of space of depression and anxiety, especially through the next few weeks of the holidays. There's also this idea that we can let go, we can change the brain and shift into spaces of being willing to accept what is and let go of what isn't. I think that's part of being right where we are. And then finally, being in the moment can help the body calm and heal. Being in the moment can help the body calm and heal. Our DNA has these little fuzzy endings. The doctors in the room and the nurses in the room will know this. When they studied our DNA, they studied telomeres, which are the fluffy endings of DNA. Chronic stress over time can abrade and shorten the telomeres, which are truly the indicators of a shorter life. They're markers of life in a way. So if you went and had these penultimate tests and you studied your telomeres, you would know that you're more prone, if you had shorter abraded telomeres, you're more prone to effects of chronic illness, stress, and cancer. There are studies showing that mindfulness practice, gratitude practice, and I linked the two, and I'll explain that in a moment, can stop the negative effects of chronic stress and illness on your telomeres. So you really do learn how to lower your blood pressure, lower your heart rate, lower the stress hormone response through the body practices of mindfulness and gratitude practice. Finally, storytelling is one of the habits of mind. I probably have thought that I had COVID-19 too many times. You know, if I feel like I have a fever, I'm immediately putting myself into the hospital and in my mind. And that is not a healthy place to be. And mindfulness has been such a wonderful gift to myself to sort of lower that immediate response. It happens very quickly. I don't know if this happens for you as quickly as it does for me, but it happens so fast. Within seconds, I can start to build a story. Gratitude practice keeps us out of the storytelling mind because it requires us to be authentic about what's here. It requires us to be authentic about what we see and love and care about people in the ways that you honored the consuls general tonight. Those were very authentic practices that you shared. And it brought me home to the integrity and the authenticity of this group of people and what you're up to in the world. So let's try it. Just where you are, seated, comfortable and relaxed. This is a practice called 2 feet and 1 breath, and I offer it to you as a gift through this holiday season. And one of the ways that we can ground ourselves and be in a spacious readiness for gratitude is through a grounding practice. And so just invite you to, if you're comfortable, lower or close the eyes and take a deep breath. Exhaling and letting go of the day. And just notice the sensations of the left foot, perhaps how they're in contact with the floor, the soles of your feet in contact with the shoe. And then shift your focus of awareness to the right foot. What sensation is there for you to notice? And then just very gently, without any judgment, take 1 deep inhalation and 1 exhalation. You can hear yourself exhaling. You're doing the practice just right. This is a grounding practice. It takes us out of the fight or flight mood. Our body has an automatic response to stress and anxiety. And one way that I love to adapt this to the gratitude practice is just to take the hand over the heart. So just taking the hand over the heart, taking a deep breath, and offering a phrase of loving kindness to someone that you care about. So may she be safe. Another one you might offer is may she be healthy. And immediately you're taken out of self, right? And you're offering that gratitude practice into the world. And then the next one is also very easy. It's the 3 Ps: pause, be present, and proceed. How many times have I written an email that didn't have an inkling of gratitude or a moment to appreciate someone, and I sent it and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had taken a breath, thought about the effort perhaps that employee put into the project that I was about to critique. So again, you source the breath. The breath is a wonderful tool for mindfulness because it's always with us. It's teaching these lessons of rhythm and teaching these lessons of pattern in the breath. And it's a very grounding anchor. So you just take a breath and you pause. You get really present to the body. Mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh says that mindfulness is bringing the mind home to the body. And you get present and then you proceed. And so many times that little moment can shift tremendously what your response will be, especially if you have a commitment, as we do in this time, to gratitude. So I want to talk about the relationship between mindfulness and gratitude. I'm going to stop sharing. And if you know how to put me on speaker view, that might help. Up in the upper right-hand corner under view. I believe that mindfulness is a gateway, an access point to gratitude. And I think that it is an opportunity to see the world a different way. And the more you work on a gratitude practice, it can be just 2 or 3 minutes a day. And it's such an awesome day to do this, Rowena, because it's December the 1st. So you truly could pair your practice with Advent. You could pair it with December. You could prepare the heart and the mind and the body for January 1st, which is coming in a month. And by then you would have had 31 days of a mindful practice. So there is a lot of action you could create right now in this moment to shift the way you see the world and the way you see others. So with your permission, I'd love to offer a 10-minute practice, and I'm going to introduce 2 tools that you need for mindfulness, and perhaps you're a very skilled meditation person, and I just know that it'd be lovely to have you try this on with us. If you've never tried meditation and you're more comfortable with prayer, you can also add prayer to the practice, so you might offer a little prayer at the beginning. But try it on is a phrase that I love. And I really think in this holiday season, the 2 words that I'm thinking about are grit, and gratitude. And grit is the idea that we're going to make the commitment and come back to it day after day. That's the discipline. Grit is the idea that you have intention, you're going to do it on purpose in a particular way. And if you mess up, you're going to be really kind to yourself. That's the gratitude part. You're going to be gracious and caring and loving no matter what, because human beings are not perfect and we don't show up this way. So there are 2 practices, 2 tools you need. The one you already have is the breath. It's always with us, gratefully, and it's a lovely teacher for mindfulness. The second tool that you need is the bell. And you might think, well, I don't have a bell. Everybody who has a cell phone has a bell because the timers have wonderful bell options. I have these 2 beautiful bells that come from Tibet. I also was given this one recently, which I think is from Thailand. So I've started a bell collection. And the bell is the intentional part of the practice. So it's setting aside time. As human beings, we love thresholds. We love having a beginning and an end and knowing that this time in the middle is going to be something that I intend to have purpose and meaning as I'm thinking about shifting the way I see the world. So grit is returning to the practice, and gratitude is trying it on with love. So here's the bell. And this will just be about a 5-minute practice, so anyone can try it on with me. I invite you to lower or close the eyes. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Offering yourself appreciation for showing up to this practice and trying it on. And you just might notice if you're sitting in a way that is comfortable with both feet on the floor, you're trying to offer your body as much equanimity and balance as possible. And just begin to notice the stillness inside. And you might scan the body for any areas of tension or tightness. Can you offer those areas a spacious breath? And just let go of any tension that might be there. And as the breath begins to become more natural, There is no right or wrong way of breathing, rather a capacity to just witness the breath as teacher. So just allow yourself to be here in this moment, breathing in and breathing out. And you'll notice that thoughts start to enter the picture, maybe things you have to do tonight, or something that happened earlier in the day that you might be replaying. Can you offer yourself the opportunity to let those thoughts be just where they are, and then return to your intention, your mindfulness of breathing? And you might notice, where in the body do I sense the breath? Perhaps it's a coolness at the nostrils, the back of the throat, or the way the chest expands on the inhale and falls away on the exhale. Now I invite you to take a moment and imagine someone that you care very deeply about. It could be a partner, a family member, a friend, a teacher. Just imagine how it feels to be in their presence. And perhaps you're thinking of a kindness that they offered you, or the way they take care of you. Just invite you to offer them these phrases of loving kindness and compassion as an aspect of gratitude. May they be safe. You can silently repeat these phrases after me. May they be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. And then to yourself, may I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. And may I live with ease. And to our communities, to our friends and loved ones in the Filipino community, may they be safe. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. And on the next breath, draw the breath in a little more deeply, sensing what it feels like to give and receive these blessings of loving kindness and compassion. To recognize that the breath as a teacher shows us how to give and receive by receiving nourished molecules of oxygen and sending them out to every outer edge of our skin, and then right back into the heart and out, letting go of the things we don't need. Let breath be your teacher. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and I'll ring the bell. And I encourage you to consider a short. You could find it on YouTube. If you look up Loving Kindness Practice, Sharon Salzberg, I'll put her name here, is one of my favorites. I think it's ERG, it might be you. And just encourage you to study after 2 weeks how you will see the world in a different way, how you will show up for yourself. We are the last ones we take care of. Yet if you offer yourself a gratitude practice, you'll see that your heart gets so much bigger for others. And to this beautiful organization, I've known Myrna for a long time. I've known several of you. And I also want to say hello to my friend in South Texas, Miss Elizondo. My husband's from San Juan Far. So it's very nice to say hello to you. And thank you very much to this group for having me. Happy to answer any questions if there's time, but there may not be.
Hofland.
Yes. Rhodora, my husband is Scott Hofland. They lived in McAllen and San Juan. We'll have to compare notes. I'll put my email here. And of course, if anyone is interested to learn more, I did put my blog there, but this is also my email at the Crow Museum of Asian Art. And I'm so glad to see some of these lovely messages. Thank you.
This is wonderful. After so many sleepless nights during the campaign and and all these stresses, this is wonderful.
Good. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Rowena. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. You stay and join us if you can, but I know you have your days and your nights full also.
You know what? I have some grades due. I'm a professor this semester. It's the first time, and I'm not very disciplined. I need a little grit with my grading. So I will head on so the students can rest easier. Okay. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Okay. April?
Yes po.
Oh, do we have the video for the nonprofits?
Wait lang.
Okay, in the meantime, we can have games. Let's have games. Let's have a few of the games, Myrna.
All right. Okay, let's get more excited with the trivia game. So I guess people are staying behind for the prizes. Okay, so Melissa, can we shoot the first two questions? And I believe that the first question was given on the chat box. So it was asking about the age of Conjen Adel Cruz. Now, the ground rules for these trivia games, make sure that on the chat box, you have the name everyone. Do not give your answer to your friend or to the person next to you on the screen. It has to be everyone, because we have two people monitoring the answers. It's going to be Melissa, Salvador, and April. So make sure you have that on the everyone chat box. And also the rule for this is the winner who is going to be declared is the first one who can give the correct answer. And we will base this on the time that you have logged in on your answer in the chat box. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and also make sure that you put your answer, you put question number 1 and your answer, because if you don't put the question, then we don't know which answer that you're referring to the several trivia questions we're giving tonight. Okay, so question number 1. Who conferred the Gawad Mabini Award to Consul General Adelio Angelito Cruz? All right, so log in your answer right now, and we are going to move on to question number 2. All right, next, question number 2. This is really fun. During his spare time, what does Consul Adel like to do? Does he like to sing? Does he like to go shopping? Or does he like to do more work, and or does he do the hip hop dance? So make sure you answer the correct one. And if you're listening, we Gus Mercado had input some hints earlier on this program. So make sure that you get that hint. All right. Okay, log in your answer now. And again, Melissa and April will be monitoring who would log in the correct answer on the chat box. Okay, question number 3. In North Texas, a nonprofit organization was only formed 2 years ago, very young. Your choices are, is it PhilCon? Is it Chinese Chamber of Commerce? Or is it the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas? This one, it's kind of hard if you're not familiar with the organization. But the hint is, again, if you're listening to the earlier message of Gus Mercado, he did mention the answer to this. And the hint was that the current president of this newly formed organization is the past president of the chamber prior to Rowena Waters. Okay, so log in that answer right now. Okay, now let's move on to question number 4. Okay, question number 4. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce of Texas is a nonprofit organization. Now, what is an important role they do every year for the community? Number 1, they go to Disneyland. 2, they volunteer for the Meals on Wheels feeding the program. And number 3, they support the Philippine consulate, and they be the operation arm for the passport renewal, application for dual citizen, and many more. Again, if you're listening and you tuned in all this throughout until this time, you will know the answer because we've been talking about this from the start of the Zoom. All right? Okay, log in your question now. Log in your answer now. Okay, next question is question number 5. Which nonprofit organization in Dallas, powered by a dynamic group of volunteers dedicated to the message of diversity? 1, is it Mid-Center? Or 2, PCCI International? 3, Adopt an Angel? Or D, Jubilee of Cultures? So you'll know the answer because if you read well the question, it gives there. It says volunteers dedicated the message to diversity. The key word there is diversity. Okay, I'm giving you the hint, guys. All right.
No more hints. No more hints.
Okay. Okay. Question number 6. Which nonprofit organization in Dallas has 30 years of charity and volunteerism? 1, Adopt an Angel. B, Salvation Army. Or C, PCCI International. All right. Move on to question number 7. Where is the Bermuda Triangle situation? Is it in Pacific Ocean, China Sea, North Atlantic Ocean? So these are good. These are some educational trivia questions we're giving. All right. Question number 8. What, this is a giveaway. What has a head, a tail, but no body? Okay. I'm not going to give a hint. This is easy. So log in your answer now. And going on to question number 9. Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain in the world? Oh, this is really a brain teaser. Really a good, tricky question. All right. And then don't forget to put in your question, what question number you're answering. Please don't forget to do that. Question number 10. How many, let's see, how many months have 27 days in them? This is really easy, okay? How many months have 27 days in them? All right, piece of cake. Question number 11. What is Walt Disney afraid of but made tons and tons of millions in it? All right, okay. That's an easy one too. It's a giveaway. Question number 12. Dr. Pepper was discovered in Texas. Which city was it invented? Is it Houston, Amarillo, or Waco? All right, another educational trivia question here. Next, on question number 13, what popular name is Texas known for? Is it the natural state, the last frontier, or the Lone Star of Texas? Okay, moving on to question number 14. Texas is a tornado country on the epic scale. Now, how many does it average in a year? Is it 98, 102, or 132? Okay, I hope that your Google is not working this time. Anyway, okay, so question number 15, the last one. 7-Eleven, and this is interesting. 7-Eleven store founded in Texas. What was the original name? Is it Misty Mart? Is it Tasty Big T? Or is it Totem? All right. So these are the 15 questions. And we are going to tally all your answers. And the winner, we will send you an email and your prizes. So stay tuned in, and we're going to say something about this before we end the Zoom.
Oh, Myrna, suggestion,
Yes.
Myrna, while our officers are tallying the answers, could you please very quickly mention the donors of the prizes?
I think Melissa
Melissa,
Salvador has
okay.
that. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Melissa, please.
Very quickly.
We're not tallying answers now.
So who has the list? Rowena, you have the list of the sponsors.
Our giveaways for tonight range from
Yes.
gift cards, bath and body gift basket,
Okay.
small rubber plant, jewelry items, signed Manny Pacquiao memorabilia, UV light disinfectant, collector's teddy bear, and Santoku knife by Carico. Our donors are Emily Maxwini, Myrna Carrion, Sally Phillips, Mel Crater, I myself, Arlene Obar, Rowena Waters, Gas Mercado, Divina Lim, Linda French, and Ed Carico.
Thank you.
Okay.
Makes
So,
it fun.
yes.
Night.
All right. So don't worry, we're gonna count. We're gonna count who answered first, and we will base this on the time that you have logged into the chat box. All right. I'm turning over again to Rowena.
Okay. Okay. Hang in there. I thought I learned something from Amy, the speaker view. But I'm getting Myrna. We're all learning this one, guys. This is so much fun. Okay, now we have, April is trying to get access. We're having a little technical difficulty, but one of the things we wanted to achieve for tonight is to be able to highlight the nonprofits in our PACC Texas. We have members who are actually nonprofits, and then we have the entire organization, and we also have individual members who participate in a variety of nonprofit events. Okay, they have sent us videos of what they are and what they do, and we would like to show that to you, barring a little technical glitch that we have here. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, do we have any more games? We also have, if April is not yet ready.
Anything?
April, okay. Then we would like to hear a Christmas song. Let me introduce our wonderful singer. His name is Enteng. We call him Enteng. Okay. Now, Vicente Enteng Evangelista, he is an award-winning theater actor, TV host, and singer from the Philippines. He currently is the only Filipino musical theater actor actively performing in the city of Houston's theater industry. He is an alumnus and soloist of the world-famous choir, the University of Santo Tomas Singers from Manila, and was an original member of the Ryan Cayabyab Singers from the Philippine National Artist for Music, Maestro Ryan Cayabyab. All these afforded him to travel the world to compete and perform. Most recently, he was featured at the famous Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles and the prestigious Carnegie Hall in New York. In 2009, he was granted he is now in Houston. He calls Houston his home, where he continues to perform with some of the premier theater companies of the city. He is one of the most active and most prominent Filipino-American artists in the theater. And he was also awarded Best Actor in a featured role in the musical for Urinetown on BroadwayWorld.com. Currently one of the hosts of the Telly Award-winning TV show Chit Chat Houston on Kubit Channel 57. Enteng, we would love to hear from you. I hope you're here.
Hello, can you hear me, guys? Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Good evening, everyone. Before I sing, it's what time is it? It's 8:30 here in Houston. I saw someone here in the chat room in this Zoom meeting. I saw Miss Mafel Israel. She's there. Mama Mafel was my professor in UST. If she can still remember me. She's my professor. I took up biochemistry in UST and she was my professor. So I'm so happy to see her. The last time I saw her was when I visited UST sometimes a few years ago. But yeah, anyway, hello, Mama Fel. And yeah, she's a very great professor. I love you. I miss you, Mama Fel. I hope you still remember me. Anyway, hello, Tito Gas. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ate Bing. Thank you so much for inviting. I'll be singing 2 songs for y'all. Since it's Christmas already, Thanksgiving was done, so automatically we're switching to super Christmas holiday feels right now, even though we know that it's a very challenging time. So let me inspire you a little bit. I'm gonna be singing 2 Christmas songs for y'all, so I hope y'all like it. Okay, so the first song I'll be singing is an OPM song, an OPM Christmas song. Sing with me if you know the song, okay? Sa mga nakakamiss ng mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas. Pasko na naman, ngunit wala ka pa. Hanggang kailan kaya ako maghihintay sa iyo? Bakit ba naman kailangang lumisan pa? Ang tanging hangad ko lang ay makapiling ka. Sana ngayong Pasko ay maalala mo pa rin ako. Hinahanap-hanap pag-ibig mo. At kahit wala ka na, nangangarap at umaasa pa rin ako. Muling makita ka at makasama ka sa araw ng Pasko. Is the audio good? Can you hear it, guys? Okay. Pasko na naman, ngunit wala ka pa. Hanggang kailan kaya ako maghihintay sa iyo? Bakit ba naman kailangang lumisan pa? Ang tanging hangad ko lang ay makapiling ka. Sana ngayong Pasko ay maalala mo pa rin ako. Hinahanap-hanap pag-ibig mo. Kahit wala ka na, nangangarap at umaasa pa rin ako. Muling makita ka at makasama ka sa araw ng Pasko. Sana ngayong Pasko ay maalala mo pa rin ako. Hinahanap-hanap pag-ibig mo. At kahit wala ka na, nangangarap at umaasa pa rin ako. Muling makita ka at makasama ka sa araw ng Pasko. Sana ngayong Pasko. Yan po. That's Sana Ngayong Pasko. It was popularized by...
Thank you.
Thank you. That's popularized by Mr. Ariel Rivera. And for my last song, I'm gonna sing not a classic American Christmas song, but more of a contemporary, originally popularized by Miss Vanessa Williams. I'm sure this is kind of familiar to y'all. So sing with me if you're familiar with this song. This is like a song that wishes simple things, especially now in this very chaotic, very stressful times that we're all in. This is just a simple reminder and simple wish on Christmas. My grown-up Christmas list. Do you remember me? I sat upon your knee. I wrote to you with childhood fantasies. Well, I'm all grown up now. Can you still help somehow? I'm not a child, but my heart still can dream. So here's my lifelong wish, my grown-up Christmas list. Not for myself, but for the world in need. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time can heal our hearts. Every man would have a friend, that right would always win, and love would never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. What is this illusion called? The innocence of youth. Maybe only in our blind belief can we ever find the truth. apart, that wars would never start, and time can heal our hearts. Every man would have a friend, that right would always win, and love would never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. This is my only lifelong wish. This is my grown-up Christmas list. Thank you all.
Nice.
Merry Christmas. Maligayang Pasko po sa inyo lahat. Thank you for inviting me po.
Thanks, Enteng. It was so beautiful.
Big.
Thank
Hello, Tita
you.
Gus.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you, and thank you so much.
All right. Before we close, I would like to show the video that we painstakingly put together. Unfortunately, we had some glitches because the file was just too large and we had some permission issues. But I will attempt to do this, and mind you, I'm doing this. I really have not done this before. So let's see what I can do. In the spirit of Christmas, please be gentle with me. Give me 1 second while I load it. It's really pretty cool. I hope you can hear it.
So what we do is receive the donations. We go home to the Philippines, recruit volunteers. We buy the food, collect all the foods together, put it in a bag, each and every one of it. We would have all the
April, can we increase the volume?
the day before, just to kind of like, and one of the things that I tell them is we're not here for us,
Good.
we're here for them. We just simply love them, loving them. That's all we're here for, to give them your compassion. And that's what really my motive is to leave them with love and compassion. That's it. And then we go home. Our part, as I guess as a volunteer, is just to be able to share what we have, whether that's gifts, monetary gifts, your talents, your service. That's it. That's what it's all about.
The Metro Area Arts and Education Council and the Jubilee of Cultures share a mission of celebrating local diversity. The mission of the Metro Area Arts and Education Council is to vigorously build appreciation, support, and participation for the arts and arts education throughout the DFW metro area. The Council is committed to championing policies and practices of cultural equity that empower an inclusive and equitable region. The Jubilee of Cultures every year celebrates an open-air festival in the fall when the weather is much more forgiving and invites local artists and all the neighbors to come out and celebrate the joyful, beautiful diversity of our North Texas area. As you can see, Chamber members are well represented in these organizations, and we invite you to join us and support these wonderful organizations. Happy holidays.
On behalf of the Mead Center and the Philippine Community Center Incorporated, or PCCI International, two organizations I have volunteered to serve, we send you our greetings and our best wishes. Before this new normal, we servant leaders organized and mobilized the people to learn and be informed of the many opportunities to nurture themselves and grow their businesses, and in return to give back through charity. this is the spirit at the core of Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let us rejoice and greet one another in jubilation, for we know that we shall overcome.
Hi, I'm Lelaine Henry, and I've been volunteering with different organizations for a while now. I miss the Chamber's outreach. I hope you'll have one next year. I've been volunteering with Love Thy Neighbor and Salvation Army Kitchen for about 11 years. Love Thy Neighbor is 100% volunteer-based. There are no paid staff. Some of its programs are Love Thy Pet, Love Thy Baby, and the Clothing Assistance Program. They provide meals, pet food, and clothing to all individuals and every family. It also supports different organizations like the Kyle's Place, In My Shoes, and of course, the Salvation Army Kitchen. At Salvation Army Kitchen, we provide lunch Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Everything is made fresh, made with love. Everyone is welcome. You come, we serve. But with the COVID-19 right now, it is a grab-and-go lunch. As December gets closer, I am involved with the Angel Tree program. It helps families in need by providing Christmas gifts to children 14 and under. I help with the gift sorting and gift distribution. We made sure each child gets their wants and or their needs, or both. So make sure to adopt an angel or two. Maraming pong salamat. Filipino American Unity for Progress, UNIPRO, is a national 501c3 nonprofit organization that envisions a unified and engaged Filipino America. Founded in 2009, UNIPRO's mission is to engage Filipino Americans through collaboration, advocacy, and education. It seeks to transform Filipino students and young professionals into community leaders through its various programs, which incorporate professional development, history, and policy through the lens of the Filipino experience. The organization allows Filipino Americans the opportunity to explore their place in the community in the hope of owning their niche. We currently have chapters all over the U.S., including New York, San Diego, Chicago, Seattle, and Texas. Our programs have ranged from summer mentorship programs, educational workshops such as Usapan from New York and Kilusan from Texas, community gatherings like Philly Web Series from Chicago and Handaan in Dallas, Philippine graduation in collaboration with the Consulate General in New York, Chicago, and Houston, and Spaces to Inspire, such as Wicca Art Showcase in Houston and our National UNIPRO Summit. We've been able to adapt to the times by creating spaces virtually to serve and unite our communities. If you'd like to collaborate with us, please email us at info@unipronow.org or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at unipronow.
Very nice.
Bravo. Okay. April, you'll have to help me to end this. Thank you so much. And with that, we would like the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, DFW, and our state and all the other regions, we would like to thank you for joining us, for being with us. And we thank you for all that you have given us, the inspiration and the companionship and the participation through the years, and especially this year. It's been a difficult year for us, but like it said in the one of the clips, we shall overcome. We are strong, we are Filipinos, and we are together. So Merry Christmas, a happy Thanksgiving first, and then a Merry Christmas. And we look forward to even more strength in our group in 2021. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.